Welcome to episode 512 of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. I am Dave Deacon, and have we got a great episode for you. In this episode, we're coming to you from the Central Oklahoma Cattle Conference, which is a great example, by the way, of the role Extension plays in bringing producers together, and why those kind of events still matter when folks are trying to sort through the challenges in front of them. We caught up with Jennifer Patterson, the Payne County Extension ag educator and organizer of the event. She walks us through what goes into putting together an event like this and the kinds of conversations producers are having and how Extension works to connect research, education, and practical answers back to the people who need them. We'll get into what makes this conference valuable for cattle producers and how local programming comes together, and why Extension educators like Jennifer play such an important role in helping producers stay informed and connected to all the resources available to them. And of course, you'll be able to find all the information we talk about in this episode and past episodes on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. But first, we always start with a quick trip around the table for an introduction to the dream team of dirt and everything that grows from it. Let's start with Oklahoma State University Extension Precision Nutrient Management Specialist.
That will be edited out later at some point. Yeah, that one's going to go.
Dr. Brian Arnell. And next to him is Oklahoma State University Extension Cropping Systems Specialist.
You got to say it louder. He's not going to hear you like that.
Dr. Josh Lofton. Let's kick off our conversation with Jennifer Patterson that was recorded on February 13th, 2026 at the Central Oklahoma Cattle Conference in Stillwater. Now, on to the episode. You are listening to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. We are here again at the Central Oklahoma Cattle Conference. See, I got it all right there. I said the words correctly. Everything's perfect. And I have to do that because we have the organizer here for this of the conference. So I got to make sure. Lady. Right. And so Jennifer Patterson of the Payne County Extension Office, tell us about the event. Tell us about yourself. Tell us everything. We're ready to learn. Take it from there.
Start with kindergarten and then move on.
Yeah. That is wide open. I don't know how deep you guys want to go today, so I'll keep it brief.
Okay.
But been in Payne County for about a year and a half, and wow, I love being here. Mm-hmm. We've got a great team. There was some established programs that that I got to roll in and be part of, and this is one of them. And so this is an annual event. It's a regional event, so it's multi-counties, that we work together to put this on. I love getting the different speakers here. I love because we try to address the issues and concerns that we're hearing about every day.
Right.
And so this kind of format, we can do that. We've got a lot of invested community partners, cooperators that come in, and so we had a great trade show, and so it's just a fun event.
That's great.
Yeah.
We talked, so go through some of the speakers, some of the topics that were hit.
Brian's saying that because he...
No, I would actually, you can skip over P Square, but
no.
I do think is a really good diverse group.
It really is.
It wasn't just one track. You had lots of different...
Well, that's the way my mind works, too. I'm kind of all over the place.
Right.
But, we... in Extension, we get asked about a lot of different things, but Dr. Peel always does a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And in the last year with the cattle market, he needed to be here today, and he needed to answer some of those questions for those guys today. I loved our Brian Squared. So that was something good. That was something different, and we wanted to have fun with that. Mm-hmm. So we had, you, Dr. Arnall, and Brian Pugh together in informal format. But that's what the producers like too, because that makes it more comfortable to ask questions. So we get a lot of forage and fertility questions throughout the year, and so that was just a fun way to address that.
Fun yet dangerous format.
Yes.
Fun yet dangerous.
Did you notice that we didn't stump them today, though? That was my goal.
Well, when you're willing to just BS your way through, you can't be stumped.
It's true.
I don't have to know this stuff. I just have to sound like I know.
Just say it with authority, and then they believe you.
He delivered with confidence, and so I was like, "How can you argue that?" I
exactly
cannot.
Right.
So
you always know when you kind of got Brian. Whenever you ask him, and he kind of stares off, and he goes, "Let me tell you this about wheat." And I'm like, "I didn't ask about wheat."
That's a Pew question.
That's a Pew question. No, that was good.
Well, and you had folks like Megan Rolfe here. her. I remember working with her years ago when she was here at OSU and I was on the TV show, and the conversations I would have with her about genetics
Yes.
are like 12 times higher than my understanding. She is so bright whenever it comes to that field, and what a find in having her here today, because the opportunity that the folks had to listen to her.
Right. And so we are special because we're right here in Payne County. So we always have, folks from OSU here.
Yeah.
But she actually was recommended by several in Extension. I myself had never met her before.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of corresponded on email, but I could tell on the email that I was like, oh, she's going to fit right in.
Yeah.
And kind of talk to her about, the cattle market, the national beef inventory at an all-time low, and, building that herd back, and how bull selection is just as important. And so she was on board, and she said she always loved coming, to Payne County, and she loved being able to talk to the producers here. So that's kind of how we pulled her back in. So
I want to switch a little bit off of the conference and kind of get into Jennifer's day-to-day. So you were in Adair County for how long?
2018 is when I started.
So 2018.
It was Adair and Sequoyah.
Okay,
Yes,
Adair and
sir.
Sequoyah
Oh,
counties,
wow.
and moving to Payne County. Can you talk about the differences and just the production systems? Because Adair County and Payne County, there's some similarities, but there's some differences. Can you talk about some of the differences in maybe the soil or the management style, or is it identical? Like all the problems you had in Adair
That
County
it
are the same
rains
here?
over there and
Yeah.
maybe not so much here.
Yeah, so the
That's rough.
droughty conditions over here, what I would talk about, droughty conditions in Adair County are two very
Right.
different things. There's new forages here. I didn't talk native grasses over on that side like we do
Oh,
here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's something the soil types are different, and that's something that I'm excited to get to know more about. I definitely recognize I have a lot to learn over here, but what else? Some different weeds, that you get asked about. There's some differences there as well, but
As that transition, it's like, oh man, this is a lot different, or it's just the same old day,
Oh,
another
gosh,
day.
no.
Because it's heavily cow-calf, and so
yes. Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
same
No,
cowboys sitting in both counties.
yeah. No, it's cow-calf in both counties. We were seeing a rise in some stocker operations, in Adair County, but we definitely have some established stocker
Yeah.
operations here too. I would say that this office here in Payne County is hopping. We've got a lot of people that are invested in and acknowledge what extension can do, and that's exciting. And so, yeah.
Yeah, because how big was the office in Adair?
For the first 6 years or so, I was the only full-time educator there, and so primarily did 4-H, which is a very important program. But we had people that came in on a regular basis, but I think our location and where we're at here in Stillwater, we just have a lot of people coming in. So
A lot of traffic.
To the average listener, they may not have the full understanding of extension. All of us here have worked in extension, and before I got into extension years ago, I thought it was just a room in the courthouse.
Yes.
I thought it was just where all the farmers went. But it's much more than that.
it is, and we joke in extension saying that we're like the best kept secret in
Yeah.
counties, and so I think that's been a big push the last few years, is just educating the public on what extension does.
Right.
And so we try to go to civic group meetings, and we try to put ourselves out there just to tell them about the programming, what we offer, because I know a lot of times, like in Adair County, we were the 4-H office.
Right.
And so when I started to do some more ag programming or site visits, collect soil samples, whatever, they're like, well, I didn't know,
Yeah.
that there was this other side of extension too.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, my neighbor one day, we were out there looking at our lawns, and he said, "Well, I have this one. I'm getting these mounds or something like that," and then he said, and Keith came up from the extension office, and he told me what it was, and I went, "Thank goodness for using the extension office,
Yeah.
because people will Google it, and that's right sometimes,
Yes.
but an accurate answer." And I would love to say that it's free. No, you're paying for it with your tax dollars.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's you might as well use the extension service because it's already there. It's there for your use.
Yeah. And the selfish side of me loves getting to go out and to see things, because that's how I learn too.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's you learn something new every day. And so, but I've gotten better at saying, well, if I can't answer that today, but I will find an answer for you.
Right.
So
from folks like Dr. Josh Lofton.
yes.
Okay, go. Ah, so close. Yeah. Or Dr. Brian Ernell.
I don't like you right now, Dave. So, I mean, I guess that I feel like Payne County is a very unique county because it is still like somewhat agonizingly rural, in that a lot of it is. But then we have Stillwater,
agonizingly rural.
Sorry, that's
agonizing.
It is rural enough that you do get some questions, but then the questions that you would normally get in like Oklahoma City and Tulsa and Enid and stuff like that about tomatoes, you get a lot of them from Stillwater. So you get a gamut that some counties could only dream of getting from everything, because of you have the university here as well as everything else. So I mean, how was that adapting from Adair County to here?
Right. I have a Laura, and so that's not something I do. We have Laura Payne is the full-time horticulture educator, and so she does a great job with our homeowners and the commercial horticulture folks that we have here in Payne County, and so that was a wow factor for me.
That's one thing I had no clue of until more ties with the county, is the amount of commercial horticulture folks that go into the extension office are significantly higher than I would have ever imagined.
Well, in Adair County, we had a strawberry growers association. And when I got the job, they told me I was the secretary for their association. I was like, I don't know anything about strawberries, but I'm about to. So, no. I mean, that's the extension office served in that position. Right. So, but they were near and dear to my heart. Like when I got to know them, I would go to bat for them. Yeah. I mean, they were a great group. And, like I said, I didn't have that background, but.
So where does that, I guess that's a kind of a unique system that you do have that. Mm-hmm. So where's that line there that it's like, oh no, this is horticulture, not me? Is there a very messy line, or is that usually a pretty hard and fast line?
No, I would say it's pretty hard and fast. I don't know. It's the turf questions, the garden questions, the homeowner questions, and the homeowner stuff. Laura, Dia, and I can tackle together depending on what it is.
You mean the 25 goats on a quarter acre with an emu and a llama?
You're going to get me.
And tomatoes.
Why am I seeing these weeds that won't go away? What can I spray them with?
I guess your stocking rate is 5,000 too many.
That's the big thing I think that's interesting is that, we talked about the, specialized animal pets. Yeah. The large animal pets that we have.
Those furry cows that are running around.
Yes, there's a lot of them.
Clay just looked over at us when we just said that.
But they're in pastures that would be something very much within your wheelhouse, and so it's like it's like there's got to be some messy lines in there, because
that's where we would tag team it together, because usually those the homesteader groups or have questions about their livestock or pasture management, but then they'll want to go over and talk about the garden. And so
it's like I'm growing wheat in my garden for my homesteading. It's like here, go talk to Jen, because she's
I'm gonna go
talk. The mentality between a traditional wheat grower and a homesteader that's doing wheat for flat, that's very different, and so you almost approach that excessively differently. So even if it's not your forte, it's like how that grower sect thinks and what their hopes and aspirations are for this. So it's like, I connect with this set of growers a lot better than I potentially do the commercial producers, and all that. Right. So I think it's kind of an interesting county I guess I perceived it as an interesting county. It might not be as interesting as I thought it was.
Well, something,
you're nailing this, man.
It takes some time, but something in extension that you eventually learn is you have to gauge your audience or your clientele.
Yeah, Josh. Okay, I'm
He's
sorry.
not good at that.
When you walk into a room or if you're putting on a program, you got to do your homework. And so, because there's a way, that I would approach, our cattle producers here versus if I was going to go to a homesteading or, horde event. So there's just...
So what is the clientele? Because we do make some assumptions about what your clientele looks like. What?
Oh gosh,
I know it's highly diverse, but what?
I'm still learning, Brian.
You're still learning.
Yes,
okay.
A year and a half in.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel well. In my first year, my youngest son was still in high school, and so I was doing a lot of back and forth to Stillwell, and so now I'm here full time, and so I have some catching up to do. But
a lot of the perceptions might be the audience is older, always older.
Yeah.
Is that the case? Do you have?
Yes and no. And so for these daytime programs, I have found, if you market it far out ahead of time, and if it's if we use social media, we use email, and if it's something that's important to the working, to the folks who still have a full-time job, they'll take the day off or they'll take some time off to come to it. But it's just, we do have a lot of the traditional producers that come and religiously come to everything and are very thankful for it too. So I'm seeing a mix, and so I've been told that we're getting some younger generations in, and so that's exciting too.
The other thing is in a meeting like this, I know we hope to draw from a somewhat regional area
Correct.
But you, from of course doing the educator from the county that the university's in, the mothership's in. Do you get this perception like, oh well, we're going to get a lot more of the state specialists and stuff like that here, and so they tend to flock more here? Or is that, it's one of those things that Stillwater, sometimes people don't want to travel to Stillwater. They prefer to go out and, they'd prefer a meeting in Lahoma or, somewhere around those. But, it's...
I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I would say it's yes and no on that one too.
I can see that. I used to work for Hobby Lobby Corporate, and store number 2 is right off of I-40. And that was the store that all of the people at Hobby Lobby Corporate went to go check everything. And so I can see where Payne County Extension may have that perception of, well, that's in their home county, so they get a lot more visits. Because, whenever David Green would leave the office for store number 2, the store manager was like, "Oh boy, here we go. I'm ready for this."
How did we not know this?
I don't know. Where's this Dave Deacon Hobby Lobby lore coming from?
You didn't know that?
No.
I need to get
See, you learn something new every day.
We need
my
the
resume.
Dave Deacon biography.
Well, but and I tell you the honest truth is that whenever I started, it was you need to get out into the counties,
Right.
And so I feel like it was almost the reverse for me. Is I was encouraged to go out, and I'm not going to say abandoned, but it's like I spent less time in my home county than I did everywhere else because I was told to go out.
And do
it's
that.
like, we got a county extension office here in this county as well. So
well, I'm not going to lie. I was a little intimidated at first when I started here, because a lot of the phone calls would be like, well, they'd already talked to a state specialist. So I'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to circle back and see what that discussion was first, so I don't contradict what they were saying too, because so many people work on campus or are alum or go to church with them or whatever it is, and so they have those relationships with a lot of you guys on campus, and so which is good, but sometimes I just got to double check my facts before I
20 years of state specialist, and I've had more invites to Payne County since Jen's been around than I ever did when Nathan was president. So
Wow.
Just dropping that down in
Nathan
there.
Anderson, long-time listener to the program.
Yeah, Nathan won't listen. That's one we don't have to worry about.
Oh goodness, you guys, he's been great.
He has.
Yes, he has.
But I wanted to see the perception from, because I sitting here thinking, it's like, you know what? At least in my first 5 years, I don't think I did any programs in Payne County because I was told to go. And push forth into the corners of the state. And it's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things around here too.
There
and
really
the
is.
poor people in Tillman County are like, oh my gosh, Josh is back.
Yeah.
He loves Hollis. Why does he
you
care?
go out to Cimarron County, you're like, thank you so much for coming
Right.
to Boise City, and you come to the Payne County Fairgrounds, you're like, yeah, you drove them out. Good job. Well done.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. No words.
She was thinking it.
It's okay.
I wonder what it's like to be able to censor thoughts. I wish I could do that, man.
Bubbles that pop up.
Right.
Well, so I mean, what is the big programs you maybe are going to do, want to do? Like, where's the future? You are
this is a job
relatively.
interview.
Jeez, oh, Pete. Yeah, that's just
So what
way
do you,
out
What do
there.
you feel the next 5 to 10 years?
You don't know what
Yeah.
goes on upstairs in this head of mine. No. Well, actually, the pasture tour is one of my favorite ones,
Yeah.
and that's been done here for many years. But that was something that I adopted in Adair County and did it for 3 years in a row until I moved here. But that was a new program there, and it was well received. I love outside in the field, hands-on learning. And that's just another opportunity for me and other educators to learn too, as well as developing those relationships, within the county. So that's one that will happen as long as, I'm allowed to do that. And I'm looking at some other outdoor field day opportunities. The small ruminants, there's been an ask for a sheep and goat field day, and so that's something that we might have in the works. We do a lot of pesticide meetings. I feel like I'm pretty well versed on the ODAF side of getting those submitted, and so
Maybe she's more successful than you are, Brian.
oh gosh,
We know that.
no.
Let's not. Don't jinx me. I've got 2 requests in.
So no, we started the hoof to hook youth steer
Yeah.
feed out program last year, and that was something new for me as well. And so I had a lot of fun with that one because we involved the parents, the families
Talk
and
about
the
that
producers.
just a little bit. Let everybody know what that hoof to hook is.
Okay, so it's a youth steer feed out program. And we wanted to go back to the basics, and we have a lot of kids that show, but then we have a lot of kids in the cattle industry that work cows every day that don't show, and so it was just a way to connect with those kids and give them a project, but from start to finish. But we were able to pull in community partners that they've got a little bit of knowledge, or maybe they're not familiar with how a steer's fed out, or some of those misconceptions that they have with the livestock industry. And so so we'll start off in April. They get weighed in at Clay Ranch. So Bobby and Christine Clay are huge advocates for the kids. And they feed them out till October. But during that time, we'll have several educational programs, and we invite the kids and we invite the parents or any adults, involved that want to come. And we had probably more adults than kids most of the time, which was kind of fun. Yeah. So we were all learning together. Nutrition, now I'm just drawing a
Handling,
blank.
nutrition.
Yeah, basic husbandry. Yeah, the cattle handling contest is real hands-on. The last one was at FAPSI at the processing plant. So Joel Jackson did a fantabulous job. So they got to see their carcasses hanging, and how they graded, and then they go through an exit interview process, and in the end they get awards for how that carcass graded, and their record books and their interviews and all of that, their knowledge gained.
What an opportunity for young, producers that will impact the way that they go into the cattle industry from there. I mean, what an opportunity for them to say, okay, I fed this way, that's why the cow looks like this, or the carcass looks like this.
Yeah.
What an opportunity, man.
Right. Yeah.
If there was 1 or 2 questions that you get the most in the office, what?
Oh gosh.
Sandburr and
Yeah.
broom's hedge or sandburr.
What is this weed and how do I kill it?
Sandburr and Johnson grass is about it.
Yeah. Those are, weed identification and how do I kill it? or a lot of them, I think. One of the questions I wanted to ask today, but we ran out of time, talking about the decline in some of our warm season forages, some of the stands, and the environmental conditions, all of that. I was having a lot of conversations last year with producers who were upset with their forage test analysis. They're like, I fertilized, we're pretty well managed operation, and this is the worst forage analysis I've ever seen, and so just having those conversations with them too. And so we should write a book on the off the wall questions, but yeah.
Do you get more livestock or more like pasture forage management?
Fertility and pasture primarily. On the livestock side, it's more like looking at that forage analysis, but those are the bulk of the questions, I would say.
Back to the event that we're here today.
Yes, sir.
How do you come up with ideas for a conference like this? Do you see what other counties are doing, what's happening in other states, or is it just 2 or 3 producers in the county have said, hey, we're having this issue, and then you say, well, let's get a group of folks together and tackle this in a conference?
All of the above. We have monthly reports we have to do every, kind of tracking what issues or concerns that we're getting asked about. And so you kind of, after a while, you realize, there's different trends or different things that come up. And so definitely try to pull some of those into the program. I do try to collaborate with the surrounding counties, those educators, and like, hey, what are you guys hearing? What are some things that you want to hit on? Talking to the producers. So I'm work with our Cattle Producers Association and the agribusiness that the chamber has been a real helpful one too, the connections that they have. And so they always have good insight or good resources as well.
To all the young people in the crowd, because we're hip with
we are super cool.
Oh man,
super cool.
Yes, but we do have several students on the campus that listen. So talk to them about somebody that has just been in extension. Like, how do you get the young people into extension, and whether it's a career or just using it, like. Get them in extension. Get them excited about it.
How do you get them involved?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4-H is a good one.
Well, we're talking about the next level. So we're our students moving forward.
Recruiting.
So the big question I have is when I go and talk to Sergio's class, which is our graduate students, and ask who wants to have anything to do with extension in the future, and about maybe 10% of the kids raise their hand.
And a group of 7, so.
Oh.
It was 16, good sir.
So 1 and a 6.
One and a 6. One went, but about 10 or 15% usually raise their hand. And it's like, so how do you get the youth excited about? So a lot of them probably used extension.
Yes.
It may not have known it.
And how do you get them to wrap back and feed it back in?
Well, I'd love to see them get involved with some of the programming that we do.
Right.
And I would want to visit with them about, holy cow, it's something new every day.
Yeah.
I could never go back to an 8 to 5 office job. And so, you can make a schedule for the week, but you walk into the office door and you're like, well, that's not happening. That's not happening. I got to go here, here, and here first, And so I love that. I love the diversity of the job. And you're out and you're about, and there's some days I'm getting paid to ride around and look at cows.
Right.
So, that's pretty cool, but and helping the people. And so once you get established and comfortable, having those folks that come back and just go, I really appreciated that, or, they might send you a note or whatever. It's just, that's so rewarding, We'll talk about pay later. But anyways.
Oh, you get paid?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, it's just such a unique job. It really is. It's not until you live it.
I think that a lot of them, the you never know what you're going to do,
yeah.
scares them.
Scares the bejesus out of them.
Scares the ever-lovingness out of them.
So my task list, scheduling, OCD, and me had a really hard time at first because I'm like, I didn't check off A through D today, so but I've gotten better. So, and setting your own deadlines is too, because I'm a procrastinator, and so now I know, okay, I'm going to set this deadline, and I've got to have this stuff done. But it took me a while to learn that, just because every program's so different.
Right.
So,
When I think I was with John Cruz in Extension as I was a young Extension specialist in Louisiana, and he didn't like Extension, and he said that I couldn't handle it because I couldn't always be behind.
Oh.
And it's like you always, like you said, you always feel like you have a list that has yet to be completed.
Yeah.
And once you complete this, there's not a checklist done. It's like, oh no, now the list has 7 things on it that didn't have it. And I think that's a big thing for folks to digest, that young professionals don't like that mentality, and it's challenging, but you kind of grow into it. Nobody's ready for that.
It's taken me a while because I guess I'm a slow learner, but in Extension, what I realized was I wasn't having enough conversations with our county and area and state staff. Like, they've become family, and so I've got my group, or my adopted mentors that I say that I can call and ask questions and hash stuff out, so then that way I can maybe get caught up.
This will be, I guess this is less for Red Dirt and less for the audience, more to us. How do state specialists like Josh and I make more inroads to be that person that the counties can call into? Because I'll tell you right now, I've probably got Cody Linker standing over there, which I usually try to avoid his calls, but I've got 3 or 4 who call.
You got to say it louder. He's not
I know.
Hear you
I was trying to
that.
get him to hear me. How do we make inroads on the state side and the county side? Say it's okay to call us because that's what we're here for.
Gosh, that's a good question, because it's so county dependent too, and individual dependent, because when I actually started to make those phone calls, I'm like, oh wow, they're real people too. They'll talk to me, because it's intimidating. Because I really thought that I was supposed to know way more than I did when I started. And so I'm like, I'd research, and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, they're gonna. But I don't know. That's a good one. That's something that we need to work on, because great resource, and you guys are, pretty easygoing fellas, and so
we've just realized we don't know anything, so we have to ask others.
But you deliver it with confidence.
I was going to say they give a hell of a PowerPoint.
Sometimes not a PowerPoint.
No PowerPoint.
No PowerPoint.
I could have just put the ladder up in the background. Not even had it, just to have it the one slide.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for going on with us and talking about the conference, but then also kind of a sneak peek of what it's like to be an extension specialist.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening in on this conversation of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. And if you'd like to join the next discussion, leave us a message on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. We would like to thank Jennifer Patterson for joining us on this episode of the podcast. And again, if you get a chance, visit our website, reddirtagronomy.com, to find out more information about all of our guests and any of the resources discussed on the podcast. For Dr. Josh Lofton and Dr. Brian Arnell, I am Dave Deacon, and we all want to thank you for listening. The proceeding is a copyrighted recording of Agnow Media, LLC 2026. And yes, all rights are reserved.